What's up? I hope everyone's having a good day and is ready for another video in the series we like to call Underrated Throwers. Now, I haven't done a video in this series for, I think, a while, just because I've been thinking of throwers that have been underrated. And then I was watching the 2011 World Champs in Daegu, Korea, and then I saw Märt Israel, who we have here. This isn't that throw, because this is a little better quality and better angle to analyze from. But I think he is underrated, and not in terms of what he's accomplished, because, I mean, he is a two-time Olympian and I think a two-time World Championship qualifier from Estonia, the same country, and as Gerd Kanter, and was a former teammate of Gerd Kanter, and actually coached by the same coach as Gerd Kanter, Vésteinn as well. So that alone, some pedigree. And in my opinion, he has one of the best finishes in the industry. One of the most pleasing techniques to look at, one of the most powerful releases to look at least. And I think he's like a really good technical model for high schoolers. Just very basic, hits pretty much every position as good as you'd want. And that's why I think he's underrated, honestly, because, I mean, he did get fourth at the 2011 Worlds, and he is a two-time Olympian, but he didn't make the final in 2008 or 2012. But, I mean, he did make the qualifications. I mean, just making the Olympics alone is already a big achievement. You're already in a rarefied group. Sorry, I forgot to mention, he's a 66-meter discus thrower as well. So that's why I think he's underrated. I just don't think a lot of people know who he is because, when you're on the same team as Gerd Kanter, a lot of people aren't going to realize who you are. And, because, I mean, besides winning Universaide games, I think that's how you pronounce it, and getting a bronze medal in one as well, he doesn't really have much like top three places, really. But yeah, so let's get into it. So let's just watch this throw. I think this is just like some training throw from somewhere. I don't know how far this is. But as you can see, just great technique, just very simple. Hits the finish like crazy. This isn't, I mean, you should see him in like competition speed. Just boom, just stays on the disc forever. But let's back it up, all right? So, nice simple wind, feet, weight evenly crossed. Don't have to wind this far back, but people do, and it's fine. So, if you notice, so when you go, and you see that little bit of tension there. So you notice, so he goes. Let me run this. So he goes here, and I want you to watch this little bump he gets. Little bump right there. That's him activating his stretch reflex. And what he's going to do is the second he feels that bump, that's when he starts to go. And he's going to keep that tension right there. And that's what leads to him having a super strong finish at the end. All right. So he's here. Oh my God, I was going the wrong way. All right. So you're here. Well, he's here. Really nice long arms. This was a very this is something Vésteinn, I'm noticing, coaches in a lot of his athletes that he used to coach before he retired, by keeping the left arm inside the left knee, which, I mean, it's fine. I personally like to get the left arm clear. Not like, it's more of like a personal preference thing. It depends on, maybe he had a big problem pulling out the back, like going way too fast out the back, and this is a way to correct it. It's not wrong. I mean, some of the furthest throwers ever have done it. Daniel Stahl, Gerd Kanter, Simone Peterson does it. It's fine. I mean, I have nothing wrong with it. Just wanted to point it out. And then really nice patience here with his right leg pickup. Gets really low. Really low. In my opinion, you don't have to be this low. But, that's just his style. So he's here. Over rotates a little bit. Again, this is just like a training throw. So I would like him to pick up a little sooner. I can't tell. If he's actually offset a little, because it looks like his left foot is in line with this sector, with the left sector. So I wonder if he's offset a little bit. So maybe he's not actually over rotating. It's hard to tell with this angle, even though I know I said this was a better angle to review his footage. But, you know, whatever. So he's here. Good pickup. Gets to 90 with his left foot, like 90 degrees before his right foot picks up. And this creates the big tension in the groin and the hip, which just makes him whip around. His sweep leg, really wide sweep. Love that. All right, really love that. And then gets here. Really nice chest hold into the middle. So here, his right heel in the middle kind of collapses a little. So then he's off it a little too much. So I can't, no, he doesn't land blocked off. Maybe he is over rotating a little. It's hard to tell. But I mean, again, this is just a training throw. I'm sure this throw went like over 60. But this is the key to why he has such a good finish. And this is patience. So you notice, so he's here, waits till the left foot grounds. Look how far back the discus is. And then he sits on it forever. Even though he's off the ground, look at his block. His block, to the disc out of his hand really here. And he just stays on that discus forever. And that's why he has a really good finish, in my opinion. His block is insane. And he stays on the discus really nice and long forever. And he actually does this better than a lot of discus throwers I see. Alright? So that's why I think he's underrated, because I think he has one of the best finishes. So if I had to make some critiques, me personally, I would say I don't like this right heel dropping. I prefer it once it lands. So let's see, at this stage right here, I would prefer this right heel to just stay the exact same level as it landed in the middle. So then it would keep turning, and then he'd get a little more ground contact before it picks up. And then if he is over rotating, you know, don't do that out the back. Very few throwers can get away with that, and one of them just being Adam Nelson. But again, he's not a very good technical model. No offense, Adam Nelson, but yeah, I don't recommend people copying his technique, because, you know, that's him, and I don't think it would really work for anybody else. Unlike Märt Israel, who I do say probably has some of the best techniques that a high schooler can copy. Like if this was if this guy through I had some guy, how am I trying to say? If I saw a high schooler throw like this, I would be recruiting him immediately to a college. That's all I'm saying. All right, because this right here, it obviously translates to the 2K. And 3, I'm assuming someone with this type of technique throws in the realm of 200 plus feet with a 1.6K. At least 190. So that's why I would say that. And because, it's just super simple. He doesn't do anything freaky or really weird. And actually, a lot of high schoolers have a problem keeping the right heel down. Up, sorry. And turning it on the ground. So that's why I say for high schoolers. And and for college people, he's obviously super powerful. So he's only 6'3", 280. So he's not even that tall, honestly, for a discus thrower, especially at the kind of level that he competed at. Most of them are like 6'5" plus, or 6'5" plus. So, yeah. I mean, that's really all I gotta say. There isn't too much really wrong with this technique that I don't like. Really nice orbit. And again, and I keep specifying this, wide knees. So he's not squeezing the knees. It's a wide knees in the middle and to the front. So that creates that tremendous stretch. And then he lands, if this video will stop, with an open left foot, kind of facing the sector a little. So he gets a tremendous stretch in his groin, just like he did out the back, which causes him to whip around even more and create even more force with the discus. So that's something to keep in mind too. And that's why, especially for discus throwers, discus and javelin, probably out of all the throwing events, require the most mobility and flexibility for athletes. So keep that in mind. If you want to be an elite discus thrower or elite jav thrower, you really need to be mobile and really need to be flexible to succeed. There's really no other way to get around it. Really, for all the throwing events you do. Hammer, shot put, and yes, shot put, you do need to be pretty mobile in your shoulders and just all around. I mean, all throwers need to be mobile and flexible. But if I had to pick one event that you don't really, is not like, to a certain point, it's not really like, you don't have to be crazy mobile and crazy flexible, is hammer throw. So that's the only one. Maybe in the shoulders. All the throwing events, you need very flexible shoulders. So if that's a weak point for you, get that sorted out. So yeah. And yeah, I hope you guys like this. I'll link his accomplishments, personal best, and height and weight in the video description. And I'll see you all in the next one. See y'all later.